Um, Zach's speaker share today is manifesting your dream life. So Zach, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Benny. Okay. Hi, everyone. So when I was thinking today about the idea of manifesting your dream life, and in particular, looking more so at this idea of my own life and looking at my own life and really like taking a moment to be like, have I achieved manifesting my dream life? Am I actually living my dream life right now? And I was able to look at it and I thought to myself, yes, I actually am, because one of the biggest parts of these 7 steps I'm about to talk through or talk over, because there's basically 7 principles that I've written down today when I was thinking about this topic. 7 kind of things that I've learned in my own journey that have taught me, that have helped me to manifest my dream life as I continue to experience more and more of what life unfolds for me. And so that first one was having a clear goal. And I remember, because manifesting, living your dream life, and a dream life for one person is going to be different for another. And what really constitutes a dream life? A dream life for someone could be living on the hills in a log cabin and just like living on the land in that way, and just that's magnificent for them. And I actually feel that's quite a nice idea. Actually, that sounds quite nice. But I think for me, when I had to establish a clear goal for myself, it came in the form of me kind of working in these 9-to-5 jobs in certain environments and office cultures and things that I just personally could not stand. And that was just me. But that built up such a strong clarity on what I didn't want to experience, so that I was able to kind of move towards and get clearer on what I did want to experience. And this brings me on to the second part of these 7 principles that I want to share today, or these 7 points. And the second point is emotional charge. And it ties in with having, of number 1, of having a clear goal. And for me, it was, I remember for years, I even had this kind of like, there was this emotion, I guess it was almost like sadness of like, it actually felt crippling for me to be working in these certain jobs that I was working in, because it was, I just felt I had no future. It was like the whole world around me was like flourishing and everybody else already, I felt like I was missing out. And so that was just enabled me then, that feeling of missing out created such a strong charge that I was like, right, I don't want to be experiencing this anymore. I want to be experiencing time freedom. I want to have that freedom not to be locked down in a job like for the majority of my life. It really crippled me. And so the point there is, yeah, number 1, having a clear goal, very important. But number 2, building up some kind of charge within you that's going to push you towards that dream life, whatever that is for you, or that dream experience or thing that you really want. Because really the more emotional charge we have, the more we're going to magnetize ourselves to that experience or thing. We're going to become like a walking magnet. And as soon as, that experience, log cabin in the woods, living there on the land and having a beautiful existence in that way. And like you've got such a strong emotional charge towards that, because you've got such a strong emotional charge towards what you don't want. Say someone was living in trying to choose something a bit questionable there, but someone's just living in a situation where they're really unhappy, and maybe it's in the middle of a city and they're just they're in the smallest little apartment they could ever have found themselves in, and they feel absolutely horrible. And so all they really want is that emotion that's built within them that is pulling them towards that peaceful setting on the hill. So yeah, having a clear goal and creating and realizing an emotional charge, that's what's going to push you towards the experience of the dream life that you want to live. And then point number 3 is surrendering and at the same time persevering. And that was really something I had to like learn for myself, was just being able to, yeah, I never really had a problem with persevering. I would always kind of keep going with whatever I was focusing on. I would always keep going because I knew that eventually, 5 minutes, thank you. Eventually, through perseverance, it will pay off. But at the same time, I was surrendering to essentially God, to God within, to the omnipresence of all this is. And through that surrender, it just allowed me to kind of just let the process unfold without me having resistance, too much resistance to where I was, where I felt I didn't want to be. So surrendering allowed me to just have less resistance to the circumstances of my life at the time, which just helped me bring more of what I wanted to me with greater ease, with less resistance. And point number 4 is paying it forward. So whenever I had a chance, I was constantly paying things forwards, like trying to do something good for somebody else, or trying to like set something up that my future self would thank me for. And it's hard for me to give specific examples in this way, but well, apart from one, which is investing. And the more I was investing, the more I paid it forward, the more it kind of built this kind of confidence in myself that it was like, right, this is going to pay off. You just keep going and it will pay off. And then point number 5, I know time will get a bit tight here, so I better, yeah, point number 5 is embodying the version of myself I wanted to be until my external reality caught up with the manifestation actualized. So what does that statement actually mean? So basically, it is kind of like faking it till you make it. It's almost like, imagine that you're in this position, you're like, right, I want time freedom. What do I need to have time freedom? I need to be able to kind of have enough money that I don't need to work, or that I'm working in such a way that my time isn't being traded for money. And so in my mind, that was like, right, I need to have a lot of money. And so I started to embody this version of myself that is like, right, I am a millionaire. And so just kind of just feeling like I am on a daily basis was training the universe to kind of view me as I was viewing myself. And yeah, faking it till you make it, that kind of doesn't sound like a good term, but it does actually work. And I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a millionaire yet, but like I'm seeing how the next kind of year can play out, and it's like that could happen, and it's just through belief. Compared to like 15 years ago, I was not even gonna have, I never even saw myself earning over £15,000 a year. Like, so to have the mindset shift and the recalibration in my mind of what's possible, and seeing myself in that way, even though it doesn't seem possible at one point, if you can just believe that it is, and trick yourself to believe it's true for long enough, eventually it's likely to happen. And so point number 6 is, at the same time of always persevering and like faking it till I make it kind of style, in that way of saying, is also just being grateful for every experience, because I knew I would eventually reach my goal. So even if I was having a really rough day at a certain job that I really didn't have any kind of passion or joy for as such, even on those hard days, I was still able to be grateful for the fact that it was helping me to get to where I wanted to be. And just seeing everything in my reality in that way, just being grateful for every part of it, because it's there for a reason, and it's been put before me for a reason to experience, so that I can grow more. And it did help. It's certainly 1 minute left. Thank you. So that constant idea of just being grateful as much as possible that things are always getting better, and things are always wanting to work out in my favor, and believing that, even if I don't fully believe that, retraining myself to believe that. And it is a very positive mindset. It's a very positive way of looking at things, but it's also just a matter of training. If we're not used to thinking so positively, we can train ourselves to do it, because I wasn't always very positive thinking. but I've trained myself to do it through gratitude. And then number 7 is standing on the shoulders of giants. And I wrap this up here by saying, I wouldn't be where I am today without standing on the shoulders of giants. And it's, yeah, just learn from those, learn as much as you can from, that's really, just keep learning, just keep wanting to improve yourself and to do the best you can for yourself, and ultimately then those around you. And the more we learn from others, from the giants that have come before us, then the more that we are able to elevate ourselves up as well. So yeah, that was my 7 points that have really made a difference for me in manifesting my own life. Yeah.